happy to see all of you.
Jako sam srećan da mogu sve da vas vidim.
Some that I've seen for, somewhat more frequently and some I haven't seen for a long time.
Neke od vas sam viđao češće, a neke od vas jako dugo nisam vidio.
Also, really happy to see one of my colleagues here.
I jako sam srećan da mogu da vidim jednog svog kolegu.
That's Dr. Jimmy over there in the corner.
To je Dr. Jimmy, tu u ćošku.
And he finished dermatology too.
On je također završio dermatologiju.
And I taught him everything he knows. So if you need a dermatologist, he's the one to go to.
Ja sam ga naučio sve što zna, tako da ako vam nešto treba, samo idite.
But I had the wonderful privilege of doing mission work overseas.
Imao sam predivnu priliku da radim misiju overseas.
And some have asked me, like, why even do that? Why spend the time when you could have started working?
I neko me je pitao, zašto bi to uopšte radio kad već možeš da negde radiš, a ne da ideš da dobrovoljno?
Especially after the first residency.
Posebno posle, pošto sam ispunio prvi deo staža,
and then some research,
i istraživanje koje sam bavio,
and then another residency.
I onda drugi deo staža.
But this was a commitment that I really made to God, that I wanted to do something where it was really just dedicated to Him and had no personal influence.
Ali ovo je jedno obećanje koje sam ja želeo da dam Bogu i da mu posvetim i koje nisam želeo da ima drugi uticaj na mene.
And I just want to bring a story from the Bible that I know all of you are very familiar with.
I želeo bih da danas se pozabavimo jednom pričom iz Biblije za koju znam da vam je poznata.
I think you all know the story of Gideon.
Verujem da svi znate priču o Gideonu.
And he started out with 33,000 men.
I on je započeo sa 33,000 ljudi.
And then he went down and down until he got to 300 people.
A onda se to smanjivalo sve do 300 ljudi.
And then that's actually less than 1% of what he started with.
I to je manje od 1% od onoga sa čime on započeo.
And what seemed like an impossibility, God told him, doesn't matter, just go with those 300 men. I
ono što je izgledalo kao jedna velika nemogućnost, Bog mu je rekao, nema problema, samo idi sa 300 ljudi.
But I think the most interesting thing is the instruments of war that he was told to use.
Ali ono što je najinteresantnije jeste oružje kojemu bilo rečeno da koristi za ovu bitku.
Right, one was a trumpet.
Jedna je bila truba.
The other one was a vessel or a pitcher.
Drugo je bila jedna posuda ili bokal.
And the third was a torch.
I treće je bila baklja.
So when we read these stories, we have to find the principle. How do we apply those things in our lives today?
I kada čitamo tu priču, mi treba da nađemo princip kako da to sada primenimo u naš život danas.
So first of all, starting with the trumpet, he told each man to have a trumpet and to blow on it.
Pre svega, hajde da počnemo sa trubom. On je rekao da svaki čovjek ima trubu i da duva u trubu.
And you ask yourself, well, what could the trumpet signify?
I onda mi se pitamo šta znači ova truba.
And I know there's a lot of persons here that actually play the trumpet.
Ja znam da postoje ovde mnogi koji zapravo sviraju trubu.
And there can be a lot of effort that you need to do with your mouth.
I zahteva dosta napora da bi moglo da se proizvede ton.
But when you turn it from another perspective, what do we do as missionaries or as God's followers?
Ali ako to posmatramo iz drugog ugla, šta je to što mi kao Božji sledbenici ili misionari činimo?
With our mouth we are able to witness or to preach God to other people.
Sa našim ustima mi smo u mogućnosti da svedočimo ljudima oko nas.
It's interesting, Mark Finley says that witnessing is not a spiritual gift.
Zanimljivo je da Mark Finley kaže da svedočenje nije duhovni dar.
That's everybody's responsibility.
To je svačija odgovornost.
And we're all given a trumpet. We're all given mouth.
I nama je svima data truba i svima su nam data usta.
And even those that perhaps aren't able to speak, they can use their hands.
Čak i oni koji ne mogu da govore, oni mogu svoje ruke da koriste.
But witnessing is everyone's responsibility.
Ali svedočenje je svačija odgovornost.
And then we come to the vessel or the pitcher.
A onda dođemo do bokala ili te posude.
And a lot of times in the Bible, the human form, the body is referred to as a vessel.
I puno puta u Bibliji o čovečijem telu se govori kao posudi.
Now, interesting that the fire was held within the pitcher.
Interesantno je da je vatra bila unutar ovog bokala.
How is the only way to get that fire to be shown to others?
Koji je bio jedini način da se ova vatra prikaže drugima?
Really was to break that pitcher.
Jedini način je bio da se slomi taj bokal.
And what does that fire represent?
A šta ta vatra predstavlja?
It's the Holy Spirit. It's the influence of the Holy Spirit in our lives.
To je Sveti Duh i njegov uticaj u našem životu.
So for the Holy Spirit to be shown in our lives, we need to break the picture, we need to break ourselves.
So da bi se Sveti Duh pokazao u našem životu, mi treba da slomimo taj bokal, odnosno nas sami.
And you can imagine in the middle of the night, when the trumpets were blown, when the noise of the pitchers surrounding all the other army, what kind of sound that must have been.
I možemo da zamislimo kako je to bilo kada je ta truba zatrubila u sred noći i kada su bokali počeli da se lome. Kakav je to bio zvuk?
And especially once they saw all the lights shining all around them.
Posebno kada su videli sva ta svetla, kako svetle blješte oko njih.
And with that simplicity, God was able to defeat the army.
Sa tako jednostavnim stvarima Bog je uspeo da porazi vojsku.
Now, are you saturated with that oil, with that Holy Spirit?
Pitanje je da li smo mi ispunjeni sa tim uljem, sa Svetim Duhom.
A lot of times we go to the churches and we ask, well, what do we need?
Često odemo do crkve i pitamo šta je to što mi trebamo.
And people will say, well, we need more young people.
Ljudi kažu mi trebamo više mladih.
We need guitars, we need drums.
Trebaju nam gitare, bubnjevi.
We need PowerPoint presentations,
trebaju
more
nam
of them.
Više prezentacija, PowerPoint.
We need more lasers, we need this and that.
Trebaju nam laseri, trebaju nam razne stvari.
And all those have their time and place, but what is the greatest need?
I sve te stvari imaju svoje vreme i mesto, ali šta je naša najveća potreba?
In Acts, and even in chapter 1, it says our greatest need is the Holy Spirit.
U delima apostolskim, u prvom poglavlju kaže da je naša najveća potreba Sveti Duh.
More than waiting for Jesus to come again,
više nego da čekamo Isusa da dođe ponovo.
We should be waiting for the Holy Spirit.
Mi bismo trebali da čekamo na Svetoga Duha.
Because with that, then all these little things that we have perhaps against each other, they're just frivolous. They mean nothing.
Jel sa tim sve ove stvari, male stvari koje mi imamo protiv druge postaju besmislene i više nisu problem.
So are you ready to be that fuel that God can use you?
So, da li si ti spreman da budeš to gorivo koje će Bog da iskoristi?
So really there's 3 steps.
Postoje zapravo 3 koraka.
You got to be willing, you got to yield to God.
Treba da budeš spreman da se predaš Bogu.
You got to ask for that Spirit of God.
Treba da pitaš za tog Duha Božjeg.
And then you actually have to do something.
I nešto zapravo treba i da uradiš.
And so I've kind of split up this presentation into 2 parts.
Ja sam podelio ovu prezentaciju na 2 dela.
And the first part we'll kind of look at some of the aspects of where I was.
U prvom delu ćemo gledati gde sam ja to bio.
But a lot of the medical cases that I find more interesting, we'll leave that for the afternoon.
A mnoge medicinske slučajeve koje ja nalazim jako interesantnim, to ćemo da ostavimo za poslepodne.
Okay. So after everything was done and said, I took off for Peru in January.
Ja sam otišao u Peru u januaru.
And I was supposed to be stationed there for 6 months, but one of the organizers there had called me and told me they had a lot of flooding.
Ja sam trebao tamo da ostanem 6 meseci, ali jedan od organizatora mi je rekao da su imali jako puno poplava.
And when there's flooding, all the native villagers, they go up into the mountains.
A kada dođu poplave, onda stanovnici okolnih sela odlaze u planine.
And then the snakes come out.
I onda zmije dođu.
And there's a lot of poisonous snakes.
I ima puno otrovnih zmija.
So he advised me for the first month not to come.
Tako da mi je on posavjetovao da ne dođem prvog meseca.
But I really wanted to dedicate 6 months of time or half a year.
Ali ja sam zaista želeo da posvetim čitavih 6 meseci za taj put.
It's very interesting how God works out things.
I interesantno je kako Bog sve podesi.
So at that time I got a call actually from Loma Linda.
U to vreme ja sam dobio poziv od Loma Linde.
And they had a need for a doctor to work in one of their hospitals in Belize.
I njima je bilo potreban jedan doktor da radi u jednoj od bolnica u Belize.
And so it just worked it out for the month of January. I would work at the hospital.
I tako se sve dobro uklopilo da sam ja u januaru radio u toj bolnici.
And after that I would take off for Peru when the raining season had slowed down.
I posle toga sam otišao u Peru kada su kišne sezone prestale.
And so it's interesting because when I say hospital, I say clinic, we imagine like Loma Linda or we imagine White Memorial Church or something big, but this is very small.
Interesantno je kad kažemo bolnica ili klinika, mi mislimo Loma Linda ili jedna od bolnica, ali ovo je zaista jako malo i skromno.
So, I wanted to go ahead and show you some pictures and see if this works.
Želim da vam pokažem neke od slika, ako ovo bude radilo.
I think I might have to do it manually. Go ahead, next slide. So, that's okay, I can still use the laser. Yeah. Okay. So, when you go to Peru, it's, maybe, can we do that, turn off these two lights? Or these rows of lights, yeah, great. When you first land in Peru, you land in the main city called Lima.
Kada dođete u Peru, onda avion se spusti u grad koji se zove Lima.
And the very large cities are just like any of our cities, like Chicago, New York, Los Angeles.
I veliki gradovi tamo su uglavnom kao i ovde veliki gradovi, Chicago ili Los Angeles.
But when you end up in the villages, it's night and day.
Ali kada odete u lokalno selo, to je kao dan i noć.
And some of the more touristy things that people go see is obviously Machu Picchu.
Neka od turističkih mesta koje ljudi idu da gledaju su Machu Picchu.
And that's within this region called Cusco.
I to je u ovoj regiji koja se zove Cusco.
So, go ahead, next slide. So, all of us are familiar with some of the photos. These were, this Machu Picchu was actually a place where the Indians had lived for agriculture.
A Machu Picchu je mesto gde su Indijanci živeli radi zemljoradnje.
And they also had a spiritual section, so they had their priests and so on that offered
Isto
services.
tako je bio duhovnik deo gde su imali svoga sveštenika i svoje ceremonije.
And then right next to Machu Picchu, there's a higher peak called Huayna Picchu.
I odmah pored Machu Picchu postoji još jedan veći vrh koji se zove Huayna Picchu.
Huayna
Picchu.
And you can hike both these places.
I možete se popeti na oba od ova mesta.
And if you look closely, the other mountain kind of almost has the shape of a head, where you have the forehead, the nose, and the mouth right here.
I ako pogledate pažljivo, primetit ćete da ova planina kao da ima oblik glave. Počinje sa čelom, onda nos i onda ovde usta.
Okay. Go ahead. And from the very top portion, this is where all the pictures are taken, where you can see all of Machu Picchu.
I kada se popnete na sam vrh, odatle sam napravio ovu sliku, odatle možete videti ceo Machu Picchu.
Now, to get there, it's interesting because you have to take a plane to land in the other part of Peru, in Cusco.
Zanimljivo je da bi došao tamo, moraš da ideš avionom koji će se spustiti u drugom delu Perua.
Then you have to take a train.
Onda moraš da uzmeš voz.
Then you have to take a bus.
A onda autobus.
Then you have to take your feet and walk.
A onda moraš da hodeš.
So it's a little bit of a trek. But it's very interesting the way they did their planting agriculture. They would plant on different levels depending on how much oxygen or how much water they needed. So they would have potatoes and tomatoes and corn and so on.
Interesantno kako su oni organizovali ove bašte. Oni bi na ovim terasama sadili razne biljke, odnosno povrće, zavisnosti od toga koliko je biljci bilo potrebno kiseonika ili vode, oni bi na određenom nivou to povrće sadili.
And they call Peru the land of 1,000 rivers because literally there are so many rivers that interconnect with one another.
Tamo zovu Peru zemlja 1000 reka, zato što ima jako puno reka.
Then when we go, I'm going to show you a few pictures within Lima. Go ahead.
Pokazat ću vam nekoliko slika iz
You
Lime.
can see that the sites are very modern and they're very rich.
Možete videti da su ovi delovi jako bogati i moderni.
And they have fountains, water fountain parks, and they have playgrounds and everything.
Imaju parkove sa lepim vodenim fontanama, sa igralištima za decu.
And this is actually their Adventist university there.
Ovo je njihov adventistički univerzitet.
They just recently started a medical school there as well.
Skoro su tamo započeli i medicinsku školu, fakultet.
And it's really pretty because a lot of it's surrounded by mountains.
Jako je lepo zato što je sve okruženo planinama.
They also have a lot of Spanish influence because the Spaniards had come and conquered the land.
Ima jako puno španskog uticaja zato što su oni bili osvojili ovaj deo originalno.
And so depending what areas you go to, but you can see these arches, you can see beautiful churches.
Zavisi u koji deo odete, možete videti ove svodove, prelepe crkve.
This is along the coast, and these are like canoes that they would use to fish.
Ovo je pored obale, možemo videti kanue koje oni koriste da pecaju.
And then a lot of Catholic influence and other religions as well.
Takođe puno katoličkog uticaja kao i drugih religija.
Okay. Then we're going to go down south in this region.
Onda ćemo da odemo malo južno u ovu regiju.
This is interesting. If you see this, can you see the image of Christ?
Ovo je zanimljivo, ako pogledate ovo, da li možete da vidite lice Hrista?
It's not carved out, it's just a natural formation.
Ovo nije klesano, da, kao skulptura, već jednostavno prirodna formacija.
So there's a lot of beautiful nature there. This actually is an area in Puno where they have these floating islands.
Ovo je deo u Punu gde imaju ova plutajuća ostrva.
These are reeds that they will crisscross with each other to be able to make the island float.
Ovo su trske koje oni ukrštaju međusobno da bi ovo ostrvo moglo da pluta.
And back in the day when the natives were attacked, they had to find a place to live, and so they decided to go in the middle of the lake and build these islands and live and stay safe.
Kada su u davna vremena domorodci bili napadani, oni bi pravili ova mesta i tu bi se krili.
And these little towers is how they communicate from one island to the next.
Ove kule su način kako su oni komunicirali sa drugim ostrvima.
And after 100 years, there's still families that live there.
I posle 100 godina još uvek ima familija koja tu žive.
Maranatha came by and built an Adventist church there.
Maranata je došla i tu je sagradila adventističku crkvu.
And so it floats kind of like some of those floating boats or houses.
I ona pluta isto kao neka od tih plutajućih kuća i ostrva.
And you can see just the members in the church, and the churches are full.
I možete ovde da vidite crkvu koja je puna.
I thought this was a more interesting thing. This is potluck.
Mislio sam da je ovo interesantno. Ovo je potlak.
And what they spread out a blanket there, and people come with pots of potatoes and corn, and they throw everything on the rug.
Oni su raširili tu ovo jedno ćebe i ljudi dolaze sa krompirom, sa kukuruzom ili šta god imaju i sve stave tu na ćebe.
They pray and everybody runs and grabs their food.
Oni se pomole i svako potrči za hranom.
So it will be interesting for potluck today if we put everything on the floor and first come, first serve.
Bilo bi interesantno kad bismo danas za potlak stavili sve na pod, pa kogod se prvi posluži.
But then they would find their place and they would just eat, and you can see the beautiful nature that surrounds them.
Da, i onda bi svako našao svoje mesto i jeo.
And now we're going to go up to the northern region. This is where the Amazon jungle really starts.
Sada ćemo da idemo u severnu regiju i tu je gde počinje prašuma amazonska.
You have one river and another river that connect and form the Amazon River, and that eventually goes into Brazil.
Tu vidimo dve reke koje se spajaju i formiraju Amazon.
And obviously, as we know from pictures and stuff, it's just full of vegetation.
I kao što znamo iz mnogih slika koje smo videli, ima puno vegetacije.
And then you also get a lot of rain. You can see that these are the tops of the trees and how much water there is.
Oni jako puno kiše dobijaju, padavine, vidimo da koliko je drveće pokriveno kada se samo vrh vidi.
And that can be a 30 to 60 feet difference of water during the rainy season.
Može da bude od 30 do 60 stopa vode.
In the villages, some villages are very small where you maybe have 2 houses.
Neka sela su jako mala, sa možda samo 2 kuće.
And some villages, they have a lot of people, like maybe 1,000 or so people.
A neka su veća, sa čak i 1000 ljudi.
So they'll find some land, they'll clear it out, and they'll build houses around it.
Nađu parče zemlje, raščiste i sagrade kuće.
Bigger villages, the government helps support building some type of school and some type of clinic.
Većim selima država pomaže, sagrade im neke škole i možda neku kliniku.
And then you have, like I said, these single houses. And this is when we would land on the river. This is how we would just set up our tents and we'd sleep there.
Ovo su neke manje kuće, a ovaj šator što vidite, to je kako bismo mi tamo spavali.
We also had hammocks, and hammocks is a very common thing to see there.
Isto smo imali ove ležaljke i to je vrlo uobičajeno tamo.
And when we travel, we have to use our hammocks.
I kada smo putovali, morali smo njih da koristimo.
Because on these boats or these barges, which carry a lot of equipment, is where you can find some space to be able to go from one village to the next.
Na ovim brodovima bismo našli mesto za nas i tako smo išli od sela do sela.
This might be hard to see, but if you look, there's hammock. It's like sardines that you pile up.
Možda je teško da vidite, ali to su sve ležaljke jedne do druge gde ljudi spavaju dok se voze.
And so, since there's no roads, you can't get there by car, you can only get to the villages by boat.
Zato što ne postoje putevi do tamo gde smo išli, ovo je jedini način da se dođe do tih mesta.
So on the boats you have a lot of time to think.
So na brodu imaš dosta vremena da razmišljaš.
And a lot of time to read.
I da čitaš.
And it's good because it was time to build up your spiritual life.
I dobro je jer je to bilo vreme kada smo mogli da se izgrađujemo duhovno.
Also a lot of time to sleep.
I dosta vremena da spavamo.
Go ahead. Now, some of the boats you can see are bigger,
Neki brodovi su veći, kao što vidite.
and some of the boats that we took would be a little bit smaller, but
Neki su bili mnogo manji
and some are really small.
i neki zaista mali.
Now, these travels to go from one village to the next can take 12 hours or it can take 2 days.
Vreme koje bi nam uzelo je od 12 sati do čak 2 dana da bismo išli od mesta
A
do
lot of
mesta.
times the rivers won't go a straight shot, they curve around and you have to get through all those curves.
Jer često reke ne idu pravo, već krivudaju i vi morate tu da ići.
There was one incident when I had to get back to a village.
Bio je jedan incident kada sam morao da se vratim nazad u selo
And typically this village would take about 24 hours to get there.
i normalno bi uzelo 24 sata da se dođe do tog sela.
And I left that Monday at 4 in the afternoon.
I ja sam krenuo u ponedeljak u 4
And I
poslepodne
didn't get there until Thursday at 2 in the morning.
i nisam došao do četvrtka do 2 ujutru.
There's no time schedule you can check on your iPad or anything like that.
Ne postoji vremenski raspored koji možeš da proveriš na svom iPadu.
It's just, they tell you approximately that the boats will come at that time,
Oni ti otprilike kažu kada će brod doći,
but they might not even show up.
ali ne moraju ni da se pojave.
This boat that I actually took on Monday,
Ovaj brod na koji sam se ja ukrcao u ponedeljak,
they kept on telling me that, oh yeah, we're going to leave in about an hour,
oni su mi govorili da, evo, krećemo za sat vremena
and every hour they would tell me the same.
i svakog sata bi mi rekli isto.
Then around 10 o'clock at night it came,
I onda u 10 uveče,
and then they told me we're not going tonight, we're going to go early in the morning at 2 a.m.
onda bi mi rekli krećemo rano ujutru u 2.
At 2 a.m. I woke up to see if something was going to happen, and it was pitch dark. No one did anything.
U 2 ujutru ja se probudio da vidim jel krećemo i vidio sam da niko ništa ne radi.
At 5:30 in the morning, the roosters are crowing, everybody's waking up,
5:30, petlovi pevaju, svi se bude
and still no movement.
i još uvek ništa se ne dešava.
I go out to decide to go grab some breakfast outside,
Ja sam izašao napolje da odem da
but
doručkujem
they told me don't leave, we're going to leave any minute.
i oni mi kažu nemoj da odeš, svakog minuta krećemo.
And that was at 7 in the morning, and we didn't leave till about 1 in the afternoon.
I to je bilo u 7 ujutru, a nismo krenuli do 1 popodne.
Everything, they have a saying like hasta mañana, see you tomorrow or see you later.
Oni normalno kažu hasta mañana, vidimo se kasnije.
And then the travel, again, we got stuck in the river, and so we were sedentary there for a while.
I onda smo se zaglavili u reci i čekali smo tu.
And around 2 in the morning, he actually passed the village that I got to.
I onda oko 2 ujutru je prošao pored sela gde sam trebao da idem.
And so luckily there was still one person, I don't know, by God's miracle, there was one person still awake that had a little boat.
Srećom Božijim čudom je bio tu jedan čovek koji je imao mali čamac.
And he came and got me.
I on je došao i preuzeo me.
And I tell you, at 2 in the morning, the mosquitoes are just, it's a cloud, it's a smoke of mosquitoes on you.
Mogu vam reći u 2 ujutru to su oblaci komaraca oko vas.
And then not only that, because where the river is, there's a lot of snakes, so you have to be careful.
I ne samo to, nego tu oko reke ima jako puno zmija, pa morate budete jako oprezni.
So I was definitely praying at that time.
Tako da sam se definitivno molio u to vreme.
And we finally got back to the village where I needed to
I
be.
konačno smo se vratili, došli do mesta gde smo trebali da stignemo u to selo.
Now, the one beautiful thing about the river is the sunsets, the sunrises, the stars. It's just remarkable.
Predivna stvar vezana za reku su izlasci i zalasci sunca, zvezde.
And just because there's no light pollution, because most of the villages do not have electricity.
Zato što nema zagađenja, jer ova sela nemaju struju, tako da nema dodatnog osvetljenja.
And some villages will have electricity for 2 hours in the night if they have a generator.
Neka od sela bi imali struju 2 sata uveče ako su imali generator.
And those are only for some of the bigger villages.
I to je bilo samo za veća sela.
Now, one of the organizations or one of the mission offices we worked with had a hydroplane or a water plane.
Jedna od lokalnih misionskih stanica je imala hidroavion.
And so for medical emergencies, we could call the plane and they can take the patient.
I za hitne medicinske slučajeve mogli bismo da ih zovemo i oni bi nas onda prebacili avion.
So there was a couple times we needed their assistance.
I bilo je par puta kada nam je trebala njihova pomoć.
But again, you can see from the color of the water, it's not clear.
možete videti po boji vode da nije bistro.
And it's a lot of minerals in that.
I postoji mnogo minerala tu.
So you never know really what you're swimming in.
I zaista nikad ne znate gde se kupate.
And they do have piranhas there. Piranha.
Pirane.
Yeah.
Da.
This is what they call a motor car, and it's a motorcycle with 3 wheels, and a lot of times when we're in the villages or even in the cities, that would be our form of transport.
Oni ovo zovu vozilom, to je kao neki motor sa malom kabinom.
But the scenery is just beautiful. This is a pomarosa tree, and the petals that fall off it is literally like neon pink.
Da, ovo je pomarosa drvo i latice koje padaju na zemlju su jarko roze.
And they have these fruits that taste sort of like lemonade a little bit.
I oni imaju ovo voće koje ima ukus limunade.
They have other wonderful fruits. This one is called nona, which is like a very sweet pudding when you eat it.
Ovo je nona koja je kao sladak puding.
Now, pineapples, papayas.
Onda ananas, papaja.
You can get probably 7 papayas for $2. You know.
Možete da dobijete 7 papaja za $2.
Those were lemons. These are some of these ethnic fruits.
Ovo su neke od njihovih domaćih voća, lokalnih.
Star fruit.
Zvezdana voće.
These are those Brazilian nuts that we buy in the store, the very big ones. This is what it comes in. Almost looks like a coconut shell.
Ovo je brazilski orah. On izgleda kao kokos prosto.
And then tumba is another fruit. It has a lot of seeds and tastes like passion fruit.
Ovo je tumba, ima ukus kao passion fruit.
And then another fruit they use a lot in their smoothies or drinks, and it's called lucuma.
I još jedna vrsta voća lukuma koja koriste u smutima i u raznim napicima.
A lot of avocados, a lot of citrus fruits, grapefruits and oranges.
Mnogo citrusa, grapefruta, orange, pomoranđi.
And then fish, since there's so many rivers, people eat a lot of fish.
I pošto ima puno reka, ljudi jedu dosta ribe.
Some fish, you're able to recognize some fish I've never seen in my life. They almost look prehistoric.
Da, skoro ne možete da prepoznate neku vrstu ribe, ali izgleda praistorijski.
And a lot of times they'll chop up the meat, but they'll put it in their piazza, you know, in their flea market, and it would just sit there the whole day.
I često bi tako nasekli meso i onda bi ga ostavili tako na otvorenom na pijaci po ceo dan.
So they mostly eat fish and then chicken.
Najviše jedu ribu i piletinu.
But other things like turtle.
Ali isto tako kornjače.
And, pig and so on.
Svinje.
Ceviche is a type of food where they cut the fish and they let it marinate for a few days, and then eventually they'll serve it. So it's kind of like raw fish that's been marinated in their sauces.
Ovo je vrsta ribe koja je marinirana nekoliko dana i onda ovako poslužena i to bi često jelo.
But this is the main common. Rice for breakfast, rice for lunch, and then rice, for dinner.
Ovo je ono što smo najčešće jeli, pirinač za doručak, pirinač za ručak i pirinač za večer.
Plantain, which is their type of hard banana.
Plantain je vrsta tvrde banane.
Beans sometimes, eggs sometimes, but rice always.
Pasulj nekada jaja, ali pirinač uvek.
So I don't want to see rice for a year.
Ne želim da im pirinač bar godinu dana.
But it was great to be in the village because we can grab bananas, we can grab coconuts, we can grab papaya and eat it.
Ali bilo je lepo biti u tim selima jer mogli smo da odemo i samo da uberemo banane, papaje i šta god i da jedemo.
And then they would also salt and air dry the fish.
Isto bi oni usolili i osušili ribu na vazduhu.
And this is the piranha.
Ovo je pirana.
And you know, they say that if you're not actually actively bleeding, you can go in the water and they won't attack you.
Kažu da ako ne krvarite, da možeš da odeš u vodu i da te neće napasti.
And so we did.
Tako da smo mi to uradili.
But I will say a couple times I felt something nibbling at me. I don't know if it was a piranha or not.
Ali ja moram da kažem da sam osetio da me nešto gricka par puta, nisam siguran da je bila pirana.
They also have a lot of trees and herbs, and so they'll mix it into teas and other types of drinks.
Isto imaju dosta vrsta čajeva i prirodnih napitaka i one bi to mešali i služili.
Now, one of these more common ones called ayahuasca is a type of tea that a lot of North Americans, a lot of Europeans come there to experience.
Ovaj čaj ayahuasca je jedan od čajeva koji mnogi ljudi iz Evrope dolaze da bi ga probali.
And this is where they will sit in a circle with a shaman.
I oni bi seli u krug sa šamanom.
And they would hold a ritual and a ceremony. You would drink the tea.
I oni bi imali ritualnu ceremoniju i ti bi pio taj čaj.
And then in about 20 minutes, you would start getting these visions.
I za 20 minuta počeo bi da dobijaš vizije.
And you hallucinate.
I počeo bi da haluciniraš.
And they say that it's supposed to bring down all these subconscious depression that you've had and bring them to the surface and make you feel better.
Kažu da bi trebalo da iznese sve te podsvesne depresije i brige koje imamo i da ih izbaci iz nas i tako da se osjećamo bolje.
I don't know, I didn't try it.
Nisam probao, tako da ne znam.
These are kind of like their witch doctors that they have, or their shamans.
Ovo je njihov vrač u selu, šaman.
A lot of poisonous snakes, and we saw quite a few snake bites.
Dosta otrovnih zmija, videli smo dosta ljudi koji su imali ujed zmije.
But then they have the animals, and they're the cutest thing.
Ali isto tako imaju životinje koje su jako simpatične.
This parrot here in the States would cost about $1,000. There, I could have bought it for $2.
Ovaj papagaj u Americi košta $1,000, tamo sam ga mogao kupiti za $2.
But unfortunately, I can't transport it.
Ali nažalost ne mogu da ga prenesemo.
And one thing that we liked a lot were the monkeys.
Jedna stvar koju smo jako voleli su majmuni.
And they would be very playful.
Oni su jako voleli da se igraju.
I don't know if you can see if that video will work. But there are monkeys that are actually very mischievous, and they'll actually steal your wallet or anything that's in your jacket or your...
A postoje majmuni koji su jako nestašni, oni bi zapravo došli, ukrali bi tvoj novčanik i gurali ruke u tvoje džepove.
There's some monkeys that are a little bit more aggressive.
Postoje drugi koji su više agresivni.
But there are a lot more monkeys that are they're just so friendly.
Ali mnogo je više njih koji su jako dobronamerni.
And this is my cousin that had come along on the trip.
Ovo je moj rođak koji je pošao sa mnom na put.
And since he was growing out his beard, the monkeys loved playing with it.
I pošto je on pustio bradu, majmuni su volili da se igraju s tim.
So I don't know if he was looking for something or if he thought it was his mother.
Ne znam da li on nešto tražio ili mislio da je njegova majka.
But they were fun.
Ali su bili jako smešni.
In the afternoon I'll have a few more videos to show you, but I just wanted to
Posle podne ću imati više videa koje ću pokazati.
So they had a lot of different types of animals because there's the Amazon jungle is such a vast area that a lot of it has never been explored.
Imali su jako različite vrste životinja jer je amazonska džungla je deo gde mnoge delovi zapravo nisu nikad istraženi.
And then they have a lot of snakes, as we said, and they have the anacondas in
Imaju puno zmija i anakondu koju vidimo.
And the largest anacondas are found there. They could be up to 30 feet long.
A najveće anakonde koje su tamo nađene mogu biti i do 10 metara.
And they can swim inside the river, so you never know.
I mogu da plivaju po reci, tako da nikad ne znate.
Turtles.
Kornjače.
This toucan decided to have a stool on me, but they said it was lucky. I don't know.
Tukan je odlučio da dođe i da sedne malo na moju ruku.
Go ahead. And go ahead, just keep going. So a lot of baby ones, and it's funny, the baby ones really attach to you, like they don't want to let you go.
Zanimljivo je da ove bebe majmuni, oni su tako privrženi i uhvate se za tebi, neće te pustiti.
I showered when I can, okay.
Tuširao sam se kad sam mogu.
Go ahead. And then butterflies, a lot of different butterflies there.
Onda leptiri, ima jako puno različitih leptira.
We've gone in villages where we'd walk in and there would just be butterflies all around us just flowing.
Bili smo u selima gde bi leptiri bili svuda oko nas.
All sorts of different colors. Some of the largest ones are found there.
Različite boje, neki od najvećih leptira zapravo žive tamo.
And these parrots that we see like in the zoos and stuff, they just fly naturally there.
I ove papagaje koje vidimo u zoološkim vrtovima, tamo jednostavno lete slobodno.
And a lot of different types of cats, tigers and pumas and ocelots.
I puno različitih vrsta mačaka, tigrovi, pume.
And one thing that they have there, which is very unique, are these dolphins, and they're called pink dolphins.
I jedna vrlo specifična stvar koju imaju je ovaj pip delfin.
And they sometimes mess with the fishermen because they want to grab the fish that the...
I oni nekad zadaju probleme petsarošima jer hoće da uzmu njihovu ribu.
For those of you that seen the cartoon, that's King Julius, or Julian.
Oni koji ste videli crtani, to je King
Julian.
Car Julian.
And then some different, that monkey they were trying to sell me for $5 too.
Ovog majmuna su pokušali da mi prodaju za $5.
Iguanas, different types of lizards.
I različite vrste guštera.
This is an interesting picture because this was a gecko.
Ovo je interesantna slika, ali ovo je gecko.
But unfortunately, he got stuck on the door when somebody was closing it.
Ali nažalost zaglavio se u vratima kad ih je neko
And you
zatvorio.
can see his facial expression.
I možete da vidite izraz njegovog lica.
But yeah, that was unlucky. Great picture though. A lot of bugs. So that's one thing. If I could change it, I mean, there was bugs and mosquitoes were the worst.
Dosta buba, komaraca,
Cockroaches, flying cockroaches.
da, ovih bubašvaba, letećih bubašvaba.
A lot of actually buzzards or type of vultures that would be flying around eating dead stuff.
Dosta strvinara koji lete okolo i jedu sve to.
And a lot of spiders.
I jako puno paukova.
This is a type of fly that will bite you and will suck out blood like a mosquito would, and it hurts.
Ovo je vrsta bube koja bi te ujela i sisala krv kao i komarac, ali i boli.
Tarantulas.
Tarantula.
They're called lynx spiders, or they're forest spiders.
Ovi se zovu šumski paukovi.
There would be spiders that we would be seeing patients and they would just all of a sudden show up. This was like in a box. It was sleeping in a box and then it just popped out.
Ja, ovaj pauk je spavao u ovoj kutiji, samo je izašao, to bi nam donali pacijenti koji su bili ujedeni od toga.
They would be the size approximately of your palm.
Oni bi otprilike bile veličine tvoga dlana.
A lot of alligators and crocodiles.
Jako puno aligatora i krokodila.
And you can see the shape or the size of that spider is as big as his chest.
I možete da vidite da je veličina ovog pauka kao njegove grudi.
The other thing that we really enjoyed was meeting and seeing all the children.
Jedna stvar u kojoj smo uživali jeste deca.
And the children would be very fascinated by us, I guess.
Oni su bili oduševljeni nama.
And so we would try to hold children little Bible services or Bible schools with them.
I pokušavali smo da organizujemo za decu službu i biblijska proučavanja.
Both inside the church and in the village.
I unutar crkve, a i u selu.
And so a lot of times after we would see patients, we would right before the sun would go down, we would go outside and exercise.
Često, pošto bismo završili naš radni dan sa pacijentima, došli kući, otišli bismo napolje i vežbali.
And initially, people were laughing at us, you know.
I u početku ljudi su nam se smejali.
Because we were doing lunges, we're doing jumping jacks, we're running.
Jer smo skakali ili radili čučnjeve.
And then the kids started following our example.
Međutim, deca su onda počela da nas imitiraju.
And so if we would run, they'd run. If we'd stop, they'd stop.
Ako bismo mi trčali, oni bismo trčali. Stanemo, oni stanu.
And so the parents came out to see what was this going on.
Onda su roditelji izašli da vide šta se dešava.
And then we decided to play games with the children afterwards.
Onda smo odlučili da igramo igre sa decom.
So that's them sitting up. We're doing a type of game with them right now.
Oni ovde sede i tu zapravo igramo jednu igru sa njima.
But it was interesting, without us actually doing any type of evangelism at that point in time, just interacting with the children brought the parents out, and they became a lot more actually friendlier with us too.
Interesantno je bilo da bez pokušaja da radimo sad da svedočimo, samo igrajući se sa decom i stvarajući prijateljstvo je pomoglo roditeljima da se otvore i budu prijateljski prema nama.
So that's playing duck, duck, goose.
I ovo je igra koja se zove patka, patka, guska.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't know the word for goose at the time, so we did duck, duck, chicken. Go ahead, keep going. So this was an interesting photo. We didn't have internet service there, but we used our phones for either a flashlight or to look up something. But you can see that even though we're playing games, once you put an iPhone or electronic product in a kid, the kid will go and just spend time with that. So
interesantno, mi tamo nismo imali internet konekciju ili nešto, ali bismo koristili naše telefone kao baterijsku lampu ili ako ne nešto trebalo da pogledamo, ali ako biste deci dali u ruke tako nešto, oni bi se odmah oduševili, ne bi ga ispuštali.
Third world country or even here, you can see how much power electronics has over children.
Čak i u nerazvijenim zemljama možete vidjeti koliko sile imaju ovi mali elektronski uređaji.
So again, just spending time with kids and teaching them, playing games.
Vreme koje smo provodili sa decom, učeći ih igre.
We went to like even orphanages.
Išli smo čak i u mesta za napuštenu decu.
And Some of you saw that was me with a beard, but my mom doesn't like it.
Neki ste me vidjeli tamo sa bradom, što moja mama ne voli.
But so most of the medical care that we provided was a lot of pediatric care.
Većina usluge koje smo pružili je bila na nivou pedijatra.
And then we would see a good portion of adults and then a lot of like skin problems too.
Pomagali bismo mnogim odraslima i često vezano za oboljenja kože.
And then this was at the mission office. These were Bible workers that would go out before we went out to the villages to do Bible work, but also to prepare our coming.
Ovo su biblijski radnici koji bi išli u sela gde smo mi išli da daju biblijske časove, ali isto da ih pripreme za naš dolazak.
Okay. And since my cousin had a beard, they said he looked a lot like Jesus Christ.
Pošto je moj rođak imao bradu, oni su rekli da on jako liči na Isusa Hrista.
So, now you can see from in the villages, like most of the villages they don't have the traditional outwear that we would think of like native Indians, but they're clothed with regular clothing.
Možemo te videti na ovim slikama da u selima oni se ne oblače u neke njihove narodne nošnje, već regularnu, običnu
Some obviously have a little bit more and then some have very, very little.
Neki imaju više, a neki jako malo.
Some of you know, this is Sasha from Toronto. She actually came down 1 month to work with us.
Neki od vas znate Sašu iz Toronto, ona je došla 1 mesec da radi sa nama.
But, kids having fun in the dirt, not needing, anything really. I saw a couple kids playing soccer with a deflated soccer ball and they were just as happy.
Deca koja se valjaju u prašini i ne treba im ništa, igraju se, vidio sam nekoliko dece da se igraju sa izduvanom loptom i sve bilo.
But one thing that wasn't good to see is everybody drinks soda there.
Ono što nije bilo dobro videti jeste da svi piju gazirana pića.
Because the water's dirty.
Zato što je voda prljava.
Soda's cheaper.
A gazirana pića su jeftinija.
And not only that, they don't drink enough. So a lot of people come complaining of headaches, of dehydration.
I radi toga mnogi ljudi dolaze i žale se na glavobolju, na to da su dehidrirani.
And then this picture, I thought it was interesting. A lot of times we keep away sharp objects from our children, but kids there with machetes and knives walking around.
Ova slika mi je bila interesantna, jer mi govorimo deci da ne uzimaju nikakve oštre stvari, a tamo vidite decu koji hodi okolo sa mačetama i noževima.
And in Peru they have 3 Adventist hospitals.
U Peru oni imaju 3 adventističke bolnice.
And one of the hospitals we worked at,
u jednoj bolnici u kojoj smo radili.
And Ivica knows because he's been there too.
Ivica zna jer je on tamo bio.
And so we did various things like blood drives, certain surgeries.
I radili smo različite stvari, uzimanje krvi, da, razne operacije.
Now, because of a lot of Indian villages there, they have a lot of children. Each family typically has about 7 or 8 children, and so the older girls are sent off sometimes to do prostitution to make money.
U selima porodice tamo imaju puno dece, otprilike po 7 i često su najstarije ćerke poslate da rade kao prostitutke.
So they were trying efforts to prevent that from happening.
I oni pokušavaju da se bore protiv toga.
Now in the churches, you can see here, we were holding one of the meetings at night with a generator.
U crkvi vidite ovde kako imamo jedno od bogosluženja uz pomoć generatora.
And I will say a very interesting thing about what I noticed with the churches there is everyone's involved.
I jedna interesantna stvar koju sam vidio tamo u crkvi jeste da su svi uključeni.
A lot of times, we're here, we come to church, we say amen and we leave, we go home.
Često mi dođemo u kuću, u crkvu, sednemo, kažemo amen i odemo kući.
But after church they would have either Bible studies.
Posle crkve oni bi imali biblijska proučavanja.
They would grab literature and they literally would split into groups and go to different corners of the city to pass the literature out. Onda bi uzeli knjige i odlazili u različite delove grada da dele knjige. Each church would be split up into small groups and they have to meet once a week to do like a Bible study with each other. Svaka crkva je bila podeljena na male grupe i oni bi morali da se sastaju jednom nedeljno da imaju biblijska proučavanja. And their pathfinders, they probably had some of the bigger churches had, 150 pathfinders. I njihovi pathfinderi ili izviđači su imali i
Could you repeat?
150 or so pathfinders. in a single.
I po 150 izviđača učlanjeno.
So it was just interesting and kind of convicted me of how much more we could actually be doing.
I to me osvedočilo o tome koliko bismo više mi mogli da učinimo.
We would do health talks as well.
A mi smo govorili o zdravlju takođe.
Sometimes we didn't have a building, so we did something at night, out in the open.
Nekada nismo imali zgradu koju bismo mogli koristiti, pa smo na otvorenom govorili.
Go ahead. And then we would always have one of the Bible workers or pastors to hold a spiritual message as well.
I uvek bismo imali nekog od pastora ili biblijskih radnika da podele duhovnu hranu.
We were invited in some of the schools to offer health lectures as well.
Bili smo pozvani da u nekim školama govorimo o zdravlju takođe.
And then we would obviously, sing and do children's story and stuff as well.
I uvek bismo pevali I pričali priče za decu.
Okay. Now this is interesting. This couple, they're I think in their 80s.
Ovaj bračni par je interesantan, oni su negde u njihovim 80.
They've been together for 60 years.
Bili su zajedno 60 godina.
And never married.
A nikad se nisu venčali.
And so the difficult thing is if you're in the village and you want to get married, you have to go to the city and you have to hire an official.
A ono što je tamo problem je da bi se venčao, bračni par mora da ode iz sela u grad I tamo da plate nekog od činovnika da to uradi.
So we had an official one time come with us and that we were marrying all these older couples, which was really kind of fun.
Jednom prilikom su imali matičara koga smo doveli da venča sve ove stare parove.
Obviously after our spiritual meetings we had baptisms.
Naravno posle naših duhovnih sastanaka imali smo krštenja.
Some young, some old.
Neke od njih su bili mladi, neki stariji.
And obviously just in the river.
I naravno to se obavilo u reci.
And you can see in the villages a lot of times the houses are made of, straw and wood.
Često vidite u selima da su kuće napravljene od drveta I trske.
And we would have to basically do a lot of things by foot, but this was the stuff that we would carry from medical supplies to our clothes to food.
Često smo morali da idemo peške, ovo su stvari koje smo morali da nosimo sa sobom, razne medicinske uređaje I lekove I hranu.
So it's a workout.
Što je bila dobra vežba.
Clean water was difficult. We had to boil water. We bought water when we could, and then we also had a filter that we used.
Jako malo ima čiste vode, tako da su morali da prokuvavamo vodu, imali smo I filter koji smo koristili.
When we would come to a village, the villagers would just line up, and we just go one by one till we saw what we could.
Kada dođemo u selo, svi bi se poređali, ovako napravili bi red I mi bismo onda jednog po jednog pregledali, vidimo šta možemo da učinimo.
Like I said, some of the bigger villages, they got some government support to build a clinic, but you can see that they're pretty run down.
U nekim od selima država je sagradila klinike, ali možete vidite koliko su istrošene.
And they've had donations given to them, but it's not really used.
Oni su primili neke donacije, ali to zaista nije u upotrebnom stanju.
So we would see medical cases. We'd also deal with teeth.
Imali smo razne medicinske slučajeve, ali takođe smo I pomagali za zube.
And so we probably pulled more, I don't know, about 150 teeth.
Verovatno smo izvadili oko 150 zuba.
Yeah, so I don't know if it was as professionally done as Dr. Miroslav would have done it, but it was still, we did the job.
Ne znam da li smo uradili onako kako bi dr. Miroslav uradio, ali završili smo posao.
A lot of the times this would be a church and we'd block off with tarp and we would see patients there while other patients were waiting outside.
Često bismo samo ogradili jedan deo u crkvi kao ovde I onda bismo tu primali pacijente.
And I think this is us working on a tooth.
I mislim da ovde upravo vadimo zub jedne osobe.
And sometimes we had to do actually little skin surgeries or whatnot right here in the middle of nowhere.
Nekada bismo morali tako u nedođi da nekome operišemo deo kože I da mu pomožemo.
And then we actually went to certain houses as well for patients that were very ill that couldn't come to us.
A oni koji su bili jako bolesni, otišli bismo kod njih u kuću da probamo da im pomognemo.
So, the whole experience was just fantastic.
Jednostavno čitavo ovo iskustvo bilo fantastično.
And I have to say that I would recommend it to anyone.
I ja moram da kažem da bi ja preporučio svakome.
Because it really does change your life, changes your perspectives.
Jer zaista menja tvoj život i tvoj pogled na sve.
And you can see how much, this was just one part of the world, one small part.
I ovo je samo jedan mali deo sveta.
And sometimes you ask like, well, how can I really make that much of a difference or an impact?
A nekada se pitamo kako možemo da ostvarimo neki veliki uticaj.
And you know, I know that some of you heard that story before about the child that was walking along the beach.
Vi ste čuli nekada možda priču o detetu koji je hodalo pored mora na obali.
And there was millions of starfish that had washed up onto shore.
I bilo je puno morskih zvezda koje su bile iznesene na obalu.
And the child one by one started throwing it back into the ocean.
I dete je uzimalo jednu po jednu morsku zvezdu i bacalo nazad u okean.
And one guy came and said, why are you doing that?
I jedan čovjek je došao pitao, zašto to radiš?
Look at how many there. It's not what kind of a difference are you really making?
Pogledaj koliko ih je tu. Ti misliš da ćeš ti da pomogneš nešto što ćeš par njih da baciš.
And then he looked at him and he said, well, it made a difference for that one.
A on je pogledao njega i rekao, pomoglo je to jednoj što sam bacio.
And you never know, there was one person that might have converted Mark Finley, and look at the evangelist he is now.
I nikad ne znaš, postoji neka osoba koja je obratila Marka Finleya i pogledaj sad kako je on uspešan evanđelista.
And they say that there are 1.5 billion people in the world that have never heard the name of Christ.
Kaže se da postoji 1,5 milijarda ljudi koji nikada nisu čuli za ime Isus Hristos.
And some that have heard it have a negative connotation.
A neki koji su čuli imaju vrlo negativne emocije prema tome.
Because they will, for example, some of the Islamic countries, when they hear Jesus, they think of the U.S., and when they think of the U.S., they think of people that are against them.
Na primjer, u islamskim zemljama, kada oni čuju ime Isus, oni razmišljaju Amerika, a kad pomisle o Americi, oni razmišljaju nekome ko je protiv njih.
But remember the story of Gideon. Even when there were 300 men, he was able to defeat more than 100,000 men.
Ali sećamo se priče o Gedeonu, čak i kad je bilo samo 300 ljudi, Bog je uspeo da ih iskoristi.
And even though this world consists of so many people that have not heard or not been evangelized to,
iako u ovom svetu ima puno ljudi koji nikada nisu čuli o Hristu,
God can use us in marvelous ways.
Bog nas može upotrebiti na moćan način.
You don't have to necessarily go overseas.
Ne moraš da odeš daleko.
You can be in your work.
Može biti na tvom poslu.
It can be in your school.
Može biti u tvojoj školi.
If you have the opportunity to travel, then why not?
Ako imaš mogućnost da putuješ, onda zašto da ne?
But it's not an impossibility.
Ali nije nemoguće.
Just like when people said, oh, communism would never fall in Germany or in the Soviet Union, look what happened.
Kao što su ljudi rekli, komunizam nikada neće pasti, a pogledajmo šta se desilo u Nemačkoj ili u Rusiji.
And so the other thing to remember is a lot of times, especially when we're living in the first world countries,
često puta, posebno u nerazvijenim zemljama,
we say, oh, well, we'll give 50% of our heart to Jesus, and the other 50%, I'll kind of do what I want.
Mi kažemo, daću 50% mog srca Isusu, a sa ostalih 50% ću ja da radim šta hoću.
I mean, after all, I'm still serving Christ.
A na kraju krajeva još uvek služim Hristu.
But God says that he finds that service unacceptable.
Ali Bog kaže da on takvu službu smatra neprikladnom.
Because when his son hung on Golgotha's tree,
jer kada je njegov sin visio na krstu Golgote,
he did not give just 97% of himself. He gave 100%.
On nije dao samo 97% sebe, već 100%.
In Ellen White, there's this quote in Christian Service, page 69.
U knjizi Christian Service, Ellen White kaže sledeće.
Kaže, it says, an effort is made to present our faith to unbelievers.
Napor je uložen da se naša vera objasni nevernicima.
But too often the church members stand back.
Ali često članovi crkve se drže u pozadini.
As if they were not interested.
Kao da nisu zainteresovani.
And they let the burden rest upon the minister.
I oni dozvoljavaju da težina tereta počiva samo na pastoru.
But remember, if you are a true follower of Christ, you also have to be a fisher of men.
Ali setimo se, ako smo pravi sledbenici Isusa, i mi isto treba da budemo lovci ljudi.
And I remember one pastor had said this, and I thought it was a very interesting point to think about.
Ja se sećam jednog pastora koji je ovo rekao i učinilo me da razmišljam o tome.
And just as you were talking about tithing,
kao što sam ja govorio o desetku,
a lot of times we tithe with our money, but what about with our time or ourselves?
često dajemo 10% od našeg novca, a šta je sa vremenom ili sa nama?
Let's say a person lives up to 70 years of his life.
Hajde da kažemo da je čovjek živo 70 godina.
10% of his life would be 7 years.
10% od njegovog života je 7 godina.
Granted, you could work for 7 years, make all that money, and just give it all of it away.
Zamisli da 7 godina radiš, zaradiš novac i sve to pokloniš.
But how more of an impact will it do to dedicate those 7 years, your time, to be able to do something for God?
Ali koliko bi bolje bilo da posvetiš tih 7 godina da uradiš nešto za Boga?
Because in essence, your time or your money is the same thing.
Jer u suštini tvoje vreme ili novac je jedna te ista stvar.
And in the end, who's going to care, what we had, our SUVs or our cars, or even being a physician, in the end it's not going to make a difference.
Na kraju, koga će biti briga šta imamo, kola ili naša imovina, čak i biti doktor neće značiti na kraju.
But the thing that will make the difference is the difference you made in someone else.
Ali ono što će napraviti razliku je ona razlika koju si ti napravio u nečijem životu.
And are the things that are worth living for right now,
I stvari za koje vredi živeti sada,
are the same as Christ dying for?
Su iste kao što je Hristos umro za nas.
So think of it. Yield to God.
So razmišljaj o tome da se trebaš predati Bogu,
Asking for the Holy Spirit.
da tražiš Svetoga Duha
And actually doing something about it.
i zapravo uradiš nešto vezano za to.
Okay. So the more disgusting pictures will be in the afternoon.
Malo groznije slike će biti posle podne.
But if you can stay, I think you would enjoy them.
Ali ako ostanete, mislim da će vam se svidjeti.
Thank you. Amen.